Yes, the title is true. The thumbnail is true. We actually do no Turo rentals at this point, but we did get kicked off of Turo, and this happened a couple months ago. And I'm going to go into the whole story in this, which is a platform that we used to do all of our business on. But as far as like actual Turo reservations, I would say we're fully private, like 100% private. The switch was more of a mental thing. Like when we were on Turo, and I've been talking about this for a while. I'm like, okay, you always have to go private. I've always been talking about how you have to take your company from relying on a platform to do it on your own. We finally made the switch. So just for reference, my brother and I started a car rental company 2021, so about 4 years ago. Started on Turo, rented our cars out, and we loved it. I mean, it's honestly, I still like Turo. I still like the concept of it's an easy way for people to get into the car rental business. We're doing well. We got up to 60 cars, then we got up to a couple hundred cars. And at one point, we were one of the biggest hosts on Turo. I mean, probably top 10 for sure. But we pretty much, one day, and I always had to worry, and I've always advocated this, which is, you know, when you're reliant on a platform, they can just kick you off. If they don't like you, if they don't like something that you do, they'll just kick you off their platform. To be honest, that's exactly what they did. And I'm going to read off the email and show. All right, so I found the email, and it says important information about your account. It says, hi Maxwell, our system has triggered a required review on your account. The thing is, we can't review and re-verify your account until your last in-progress trip has ended on May 5th, 2025. So this happened back before May. At this time, we're unable to permit any extensions for any of your in-progress trips. This action on our part won't affect your earnings, and there's nothing you need to do right now. In addition, we've restricted your vehicles, and all of your upcoming trips will be canceled. We've contacted your guests, notified them of their options. Reply to this email once your last in-progress trip is ended. We can try to review your account, apologize for the inconvenience, and we thank you for your cooperation. Now, this happened, and essentially last trip ended in May. And then let's see, pretty much said that unfortunately, due to a recent review of your account, we have determined that you're no longer eligible to use our platform. This was really, really surprising because they gave no information. I asked, I called, I asked many times. I called, I emailed, I did everything I could to say, okay, I understand, but like, why? Can you just explain to me what we did, what mistake we made? I mean, I'm not trying to argue against getting back on the platform, but just, can you give me a reason? Nothing. The people that I called said that they're not able to see what happened. The email, they just said, unfortunately, we can't give any information at this time, but just so you know, you're no longer allowed to use the platform. I mean, there's nothing. It was like a brick wall. And it was crazy because before this happened, I know of other hosts that have been kicked off the platform, probably like 4 or 5 big hosts, like up to our size, like hundreds of cars. They just got kicked off one day, same thing. No reason, no explanation, similar email, like the exact same way. I'm not sure why it is. I have my own speculations on why it could be, between like profitability. Maybe we got a strike, but they didn't tell us. Normally that you get a strike on your account, they'll tell you what you did, like your license plate was wrong or whatever. And it's crazy because I think it's like a 2 or 3 strike policy and they'll kick you off, which I understand. Like, you know, you have your rules, but they never told us anything. So I don't even think we got 1 strike, because typically when you get a strike, it's pretty bad. You have to like sign something and say, I understand, we won't make this mistake again. That was crazy because the day I got the initial email, I was really worried because I'm like, that's our business. That's our whole entire business, is this platform that just like could kick us off if the review shows that, you know, we did something wrong. And so I called Zach, my brother, and I told him, and we looked at it together and we're like, well, we just have to wait. And in the meantime, I called so many people. I called like Turo reps that I knew. I called other like Turo hosts, people that had gotten kicked off the platform, and I just like asked, and people that had gotten kicked off the platform, like, yeah, I got the same exact email. The Turo reps that I talked to that were internal, they said that they're like, we don't know, like we can't see into it. We think you're probably fine, like it doesn't show that you have any like strikes or anything, but there's no way for us to know. At the time, we started like pivoting. We're like, okay, well, we're probably gonna have to get kicked off, like assume the worst. Let's just start doing private rentals. And then we got the email early May, said, again, sorry, you're no longer allowed to use our platform. We had to make a really fast pivot. There was probably a couple weeks to a month where we had the lowest utilization, and it happened in May, which for us is like beginning of the slow season. So it's fine. It's better than happening in March, which is like the busiest part of the season. but it was crazy. It was a pretty hard hit. I mean, you know, we advocated for how much we like Turo and all the good stuff that they do. And I still think they do a good job, but to just kick people off their platform and not give them a reason. I mean, I understand if the reason's silly or maybe it's big reason, whatever it is, like I understand, but not give somebody a reason to just kick them off the platform is really surprising to me. Like it's really crazy. So since then we've completely pivoted and now we help people with their Turo reservations, as in like give them advice and show them what to do and stuff. But our revenue is higher than ever, which is great. Like, I mean, we're doing better. And I actually think this was a blessing in disguise. I think everything happens for a reason, because we talked about going private forever and like, oh, we're gonna make the big push. And then finally we're forced to. We didn't have a choice. And so this actually, in my opinion, has positively impacted our business, because now we have the freedom to do exactly what we wanted to do since the beginning, which was rent our cars the way we want it and have full control of our business. So in doing this, I ended up creating a online training program for people that want to make the switch. Not to say they have to go full private, but I made a training program on how to do private rentals and how to make the transition, because it's not easy and it took us a while, and then finally we're forced to do it, which again, I was really appreciative, kind of like a blessing in disguise. So I'm going to put the link below. Check it out. It's definitely worth it. I spent probably over 100 hours on it, just game planning what to talk about, what would be useful. And it's pretty much a tool that if I had it in the beginning, we'd probably be a lot further along than where we are now. But to say I'm really happy with where we are right now. So thank you for watching. Thanks for listening to the story. It's really just informative to let you know what happened. And because I feel like I'm fairly open with everybody, and this is just something I wanted to get off my chest. So thank you for listening, and see you in the next video. Peace.